again, I've had to film this video so many times now, so if I'm rushing it, I'm sorry, but like, I'm getting a bit pissed off at it. But anyway, hiya, I'm Jessica Grace, and today I'm going to be talking about Ted Bundy. I'm going to try and make this into like a short series. So what I'm going to do is this this video will be about Ted Bundy's background and the way he was brought up. So then we can move on to what he actually did. And then after that we're going to move on to why he did it. Well, why I believe anyway. It's all my opinion. Well, not all my opinion. I've got it from different accounts. But I'm going to be putting across my opinion, so don't get offended or anything. I don't mean like anything harm when I'm saying things. It's just literally just my opinion. And like what I've read and stuff like that. So yeah, there you go. Ted always, in his interviews, he did a few interviews, well, a lot of interviews with news reporters and things, and he always spoke really well of his childhood. He says that he had a lot of friends. He says that he was in, there is a lot of accounts that said that he was in all of groups, like, you know, like scouts and stuff like that, clubs, this and that. He was in all of those sort of things. He was always had extracurricular activities. He was forever with his friends. He was that sort of thing, you know. He went to church. His mum was a secretary. He would be just your normal, everyday, average, normal child, but he was just your normal child. I don't know what that was, but I'm just going to pretend that didn't happen. But from a different account was that he was very different. He was not quiet, but to himself. He was very different, and he would get targeted for bullying because of this. Like, he was very different. He didn't have many friends. This is all from an account of a childhood friend. Well, her brother was best friends with Ted when they was growing up. So this is all from her account. I mean, I don't really know, but that he was strange and to himself, but he liked to lie about like the way he was. Like, so if someone was to ask Ted in an interview, Ted, what was you like as a child, he would say to everyone that he was sociable and normal and this and that, but a lot of his childhood friends would say different and say that he was very on his own and very to himself and weird. Again, it's one of them. It's like, I don't know, I don't mean any offence when I'm saying these things, but I keep hearing that door and it's really bothering me. This is what I found really worrying. This was weird. He would build traps in the woodland near his house, so that there was on the top, it's like my Cole Sprouse phone case. On the top there was vegetation, and underneath it would be a sharp pointed stick that they'd all sharpen, him and a few of his friends. They would sharpen sticks, so that when you walk across the vegetation, it would collapse and you would fall into the sharp stick. This was from like very young age. I don't have like an exact number, but from a young age where you would be playing in the woods. To me, I don't know, there was actually a girl that walked across it and split her leg open. This is all from the account of the childhood friend, whatever. He was a try-hard. He wanted to be president. He was one of those, like, he would always be top of the class in things. He was teacher's pet. You know, he was that sort of thing. He would often say in his interviews that nothing happened in his past for him to be a murderer. Nothing traumatic happened, so how could he be a murderer? I mean, I don't know about that. I don't know what happened. I don't know. This is all from this. Rude. That was just so rude. I was just really rude. His friend actually is quoted to say, this is a friend that knows Ted and knew him well, is quoted to say, a person you would want, I don't know why I stuttered then, just ignore that, a person you would want your sister to marry. I mean, that sort of shows, like, he was a nice person. On the surface of things, he would be seen as a nice person. A lot of people have been seen saying that he would fit in wherever he went. He would go to anywhere. He would literally anywhere. He could go anywhere, and people would like him. People would want to be friends with him because he was a genuine person. That's what they thought anyway. He was a genuine person. I don't know about that, to be honest. He went to the University of Washington. He attended there. He was put. He's one of his teachers were quoted to say he was a presentable, nice young man. I don't know. He wanted to do politics. This is another thing that he is quoted as saying. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that was, but it was bothering me. He was actually an advocate of war. This is a bit of a funny subject, but he was an advocate of war, and there was a lot of people in the 70s that would go out and set places, like basically like the Nelson Mandela. They would set places on fire, blow things up, as in a way to say that we need to stop the war. But in my opinion, why would you do that? Because that's just as violent as war. I don't know. Each to their own. I don't know. But Ted is actually, in his interviews, will talk about this and say how much he hated it and how much that war should be there, and that he didn't like the people that wasn't advocates of war. Which, I don't know, you take that as you want, but I mean, I don't know about that one. He wanted everybody to know him. He wanted everybody to... So if he was in a room, he wanted to be the top in the room. He wanted to be... Everyone knew him in that room. He didn't want... It was like... there could be 100 people in that room, and he wanted everyone in that room to know him. He wanted everyone in that room to know the name Ted Bundy. Which, to me, I think he just enjoyed the attention. Which obviously could be a lot of signs of trauma in his past, that he just needed this attention that he hadn't got as a child or as a young adult, I don't know, but that we'll sort of get into that. And then he actually got a girlfriend. He got a girlfriend as he was getting older, and he went into university, and there was a lot of well, this is what she said anyway, there was a lot of insecurities in the relationship, so that he didn't trust her, and that he thought that he's quoted saying that she was too good for him. I don't know the exact quote now, but it's off my head, but she was too good for him, and that he wasn't classy enough for her. But she was a very classy, upper class lady, and he wanted to be just like her. He wanted to fit in with her, but he didn't. He never did. And he actually made friends with a man, and I cannot remember his name. I'm not very hopeful. But he made friends with a man, and this man actually is said to have... He had a yellow Volkswagen, which obviously would be very infamous later on. But this yellow Volkswagen, Ted would go around to his house and look at this Volkswagen, and he'd literally, all he wanted in his life was this yellow Volkswagen. He ended up buying the yellow Volkswagen to be like his friend. Well, a lot of people say that he did buy it to be like this friend that he had, but obviously he could just like the car, I don't know. But after he just bought this car, the friend told him that he was going to law school. Ooh. Told him that he was going to law school, and a few weeks later, after this friend had left for law school, Ted wanted to leave for law school. So he wanted to go, but the law school didn't accept him in because of his grades. And this, for Ted, was such a big deal. This was like, a lot of people would say, a trauma in Ted's life, because he felt the deepest rejection. And this is when more insecurities were forming into a relationship with his girlfriend, and they actually ended up splitting because of the insecurity of this rejection, and he thought that she was going to reject him the same way as he was rejected. And I know a lot of people would look at that and think that was not a big thing, that couldn't be a trauma. But from my opinion, that could be a trauma, because he was so deeply hurt by the fact that he couldn't be like this upper class. All he wanted was to be upper class, and he was rejected from the thing, and he'd never been rejected in his life. Like, he always was accepted in places, and for Ted this was a massive deal. Like, he was so hurt by it, and this obviously could cause PTSD, which could cause the later on And I do believe that when he was committing the crimes or whatever, which I'm going to get into in my next video, so yeah, if you want to see them, they'll be up tomorrow. But Ted was, when he was committing these crimes, he wouldn't actually want to just have with, he wouldn't want to be in a relationship with just a woman, because he had this fear of every woman that he was going to be with was going to reject him because of the trauma from his past. This is just a theory I have, but like, he would say that it was, I don't know, but yeah, I do believe that it was because of the trauma from his past. Just this one little rejection would build up all these insecurities in Ted's mind, which would make him have to be with, he would have to try and rape people, and what was it, necrophilia as well, which was on the bodies. But obviously I will talk about that more in my next video, so if you want to see that, then it will be up tomorrow. It should be up about 6 or 7 o'clock, seeing as it takes so long to record these videos. But thank you for watching. I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe, because I'm like really small at the moment. So if you could subscribe, leave a like, and yeah, thank you for watching.